Hey everyone. In this video, I want to talk about people who make time for you versus people who only see you in their free time. This all pretty much stems around choosing people who also choose you. Because when somebody is willing to make time for you and they have a busy schedule, that speaks volumes about how they care about you. They literally are choosing you. How could they not be? They're willing to make time for you in a busy schedule. Whereas somebody who has a lot of free time, maybe they don't have a lot going on in their life or they don't have a lot of options, if they choose to see you in their free time, there's not quite as much weight behind that or value even. Because just because somebody is spending their time on you doesn't quite mean that they're choosing you. There's a difference there. But when somebody has a busy schedule and they free up time to include you in their life, they're literally choosing you because they could be spending that time doing all sorts of other things, and yet they are making it time for you instead. But when somebody has all this free time and they don't quite know how to spend it, they could choose to spend it on you. Even if they had other options, they would have left you in the dust. So there you go. It's very important about trying to see people's intentions behind their actions, because that busy person, yep, they're making time for you. Whereas that person who has free time, you can't always be certain that they're actually choosing you. So be aware of that. And one thing I wanted to touch on here, because one of you actually brought it up, is occasionally people will feel guilty when they're dating someone who's busy and that busy person makes time for them. And I can understand why this happens, but I do want to touch on something really quickly, which is you really shouldn't feel guilty at all for this reason alone. It's their choice to spend their time on you, right? They're the one choosing you. They're literally choosing to sacrifice their own time to include you in their life. It's not like you're holding them at gunpoint or something, right? Like, it's their own choice. So you really shouldn't feel guilty. I mean, you could feel guilty if you were trying to force them into including you in their life, but when they're doing it of their own free will, you really shouldn't feel guilty at all. But I understand that the real reason people will feel guilty in these situations is because they don't feel deserving of this other person, this busy person, sacrificing time to include you in their life. And to work on this, you basically need to work on your self-worth and practice more self-love. You need to get to a place where you love and understand and accept yourself enough that you know your worth. And once you know your worth, you'll know that you're actually deserving of this person making you a priority in their life. But hopefully they don't make you their number one priority, because that's unhealthy and you don't want that. And I've made previous videos on that. But it's a beautiful thing when someone who's busy is willing to include you in their life. There's so much more value in that than someone who isn't very busy and they just, have free time to spend on you. There's a huge difference there. And in my own life, in the future, I am somewhat dating around right now, but when I eventually get a girlfriend, because I do want that long-term relationship, I want all the benefits that come with it, the support and whatnot, I know it'll help me get way further in life than I can get on my own. Well, I can tell you that I am pretty busy, especially now that I'm making these daily videos and making daily content. So when I include a woman in my life, she can be sure that I'll be choosing her. Because how could I not be? I'm not going to put her before this content that I'm making. These videos are more important to me because this to me is pretty much my life purpose. I love helping other people, and I pretty much want to build a future around this content that I'm making. So I'm going to put this before her. So knowing that, the fact that I'll still include her in my life should speak volumes about me choosing her. Now, I understand that in some cases there is a bit of a problem here that women will have with dating a busy guy, or a guy who's like a businessman or a CEO or an entrepreneur, that sort of thing. A lot of women want attention and validation from their partner. Basically, they want to feel wanted by him. And women tend to feel this way if the man is spending a lot of time on her. But when they're dating a busy guy, they feel like they're not getting that attention and they don't feel as wanted because he's not making her his main priority in life. And I wanted to touch on this because I have heard, this hasn't happened to me thankfully, but I do know that women will occasionally kind of try to guilt trip, or not really force, but kind of, I can't think of a better word right now, but sometimes some women will even give ultimatums, but they'll basically try to get the busy guy to put her before the things that are making him busy, whether it be his business or his job or whatever it may be. And this is something I understand that it's kind of ingrained in female biology for the most part. It's not really something women do on purpose. It's okay. It's not like a bad thing per se, but because it is a phenomenon, I wanted to touch on it and say that if you ever feel like you're in that position where you're dating a guy who is busy, please just try to live with it and be grateful for the fact that he's spending his time on you. Because if you try to force him to give up the things that are making him busy and put you before them, it's a recipe for disaster. Because one, well, now that's incredibly selfish. Please understand that that's a really selfish thing to do. That's basically saying you're not giving me enough attention and validation, so you need to stop doing these good things in your life. That's not cool. But beyond that, if he were to stop doing the things that are making him busy and make more time for you, an interesting thing will likely happen where you will likely lose some of your attraction for him, if not most of it, because his busyness and him not making you a priority is attractive. It's basically showing that he's not needy. He's not making you his main priority, which is what needy guys tend to do. He has something going on in his life. He's got a purpose he's working towards. He's building and creating an awesome future for himself. Those are very attractive things. So if you get him to give those up for you, you'll probably like it for a tiny bit. You'll like the extra attention you get from him because he'll have more free time to give to you. But you're going to lose attraction for him over time because now he's no longer the man he was when you originally found him attractive. He's no longer working towards something that he's passionate about. So please, ladies, I know that this is a thing that will happen to you. Please try to never force your man to give up on his purpose or his career for you. It's not a good thing to do. And I just wanted to bring that up because I know it is something that happens. I do have a pretty good grasp on female psychology, probably more than most guys, and I know that this is a phenomenon. So as much as possible, please just try to reject that desire to make him spend more time on you. It's not going to work out well. You're not going to find him attractive once he gives up those things, and you're going to hurt him because him sacrificing those things for you is going to affect his quality of life. And then if you end up losing your attraction for him and leaving him afterwards, now he's left with nothing. So please don't do that. Anyway, it's a bit of an off tangent, and I'm sure that a lot of the ladies who watch me would never do this anyway. So I just put that in there in case there are some women who have done this before or would be inclined to do that in the future. Anyway, ending rambling here. I hope this video helped you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Arrivederci.